Welcome back to the channel World Coins Master Coin Collectors, History Lovers, Treasure Hunters, and everyone curious about how a small piece of copper or aluminum can be worth more than a private island, a mega yacht, or even a space flight. Today, we are diving deep into a coin that you might have seen, maybe even passed by without noticing, or perhaps one that's sitting right now in your change jar, unnoticed and underestimated. This is the incredible, unbelievable story of the 1974 1-cent coin from the United States of America. And not just any penny, this is a coin that, under certain conditions, has been valued at a jaw-dropping $450 million. That's right, $450 million. All for a single cent. Sounds insane, right? But stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how, why, and where that value comes from. We're talking minting mistakes, metal composition anomalies, hidden mint mark secrets, and stories buried in history that make this coin a true legend in numismatics. Let's begin our journey in the year 1974. It was a time of change, transition, and uncertainty in the United States. The Vietnam War was drawing to a close. President Richard Nixon had just resigned after the Watergate scandal, and Gerald Ford had stepped into office. But elsewhere, deep within the facilities of the United States Mint, a quiet revolution was taking place. Copper prices were soaring globally, and the U.S. government was facing the very real possibility that it might be spending more to make pennies than the coins were worth. To solve this dilemma, the mint began to experiment with alternative materials. This led to the creation of one of the most talked about test coin runs in U.S. mint history, aluminum 1-cent coins. Now here's where things start to get really interesting. In 1974, over 1.5 million aluminum cents were reportedly struck at the Philadelphia Mint as experimental pieces. These coins were lightweight, silvery in appearance, and unlike anything the American public had seen before in a penny. However, before they could be officially released, concerns began to mount. There were worries from the vending machine industry, from coin-operated businesses, even from the medical field. Some aluminum coins might interfere with X-ray machines. Congress also opposed the idea, and eventually, the mint decided to scrap the plan. Nearly all of the aluminum coins were reportedly melted down, but not all of them were accounted for. According to collectors, researchers, and insiders, a few of these experimental 1974 aluminum cents somehow escaped destruction. A few were allegedly handed out to members of Congress as samples during hearings, and from there, the mystery only deepens. Some of these coins disappeared into private collections. Others were hidden away, never to be seen again. And at least one surfaced in 2001, sparking a legal battle between the U.S. government and a collector. But here's the thing. While most of these coins were struck at the Philadelphia Mint and bear no mint mark, rumors persist of an incredibly rare variation, a 1974 aluminum cent struck at the Denver Mint, with a D mint mark. The existence of this coin has become the stuff of legend. Now, imagine for a moment, only one such coin known to exist. A coin that should never have been minted at the Denver facility, much less with an experimental material. Its existence challenges official records. It defies logic. And because of that, its value has skyrocketed to an almost mythical level. Experts have suggested that if this coin were legally sold at auction, it could easily fetch upwards of $450 million. Why? Because it's more than just a coin, it's a symbol of error, rarity, forbidden history, and mystery. But let's rewind a bit to understand what really makes a coin valuable. Rarity, of course, plays a huge role. When something is one of a kind or when only a handful exists, the law of supply and demand kicks in. Collectors, especially wealthy ones, will pay astronomical prices for something no one else can own. But beyond rarity, error coins have a unique place in the world of numismatics. Mint errors, especially major ones, can make an ordinary coin worth thousands or even millions. The 1974 aluminum cents are already rare because they were never meant to be released. But add to that a mint mark from Denver, and you have a once-in-history anomaly. Think about it, Denver was not authorized to strike aluminum cents. Officially, only the Philadelphia Mint conducted the tests. So any 1974 D aluminum penny, if real, is not just rare, it is illegal, it is forbidden, it is controversial, and above all, it is priceless. Now, beyond the aluminum coins, 1974 also saw the production of regular copper pennies. But here's the twist, even among those, There are rare errors and varieties that make certain examples incredibly valuable. Some 1974 Lincoln cents have been discovered with doubling on the obverse, what collectors call a doubled die error. These coins show noticeable duplication in areas like the date, the word liberty, and in God we trust. These doubling effects were caused during the die-making process and are highly collectible. A sharp, clearly visible doubled die from 1974 can be worth thousands depending on its condition. Then there's the issue of off-metal strikes. Imagine a 1974 penny struck not on a copper planchet, but on a nickel, dime, or even a foreign coin blank. These are true mint errors, accidents that occurred when planchets of the wrong type were fed into the coin press. These coins often weigh differently and have unique color tones. Some of them have fetched tens of thousands of dollars at auction, simply because they should not exist. Let's talk about another form of rarity, planchet composition. In 1974, the official composition for the Lincoln cent was still 95% copper and 5% zinc. But due to the aforementioned experiments, some coins were struck on aluminum, others on bronze-clad steel, and a few even on transitional planchets, leftovers from previous or future years. Transitional errors occur when a coin is struck using the wrong metal from a different year. These coins are technically hybrids and are incredibly collectible. Imagine a 1974 cent struck on a 1973 or 1975 composition blank. The weight might be off. The color might differ. The magnetism might change. But one thing is guaranteed, it won't go unnoticed by expert collectors. Now, let's dig into mint marks. The D for Denver and the S for San Francisco were the primary mint marks seen in 1974, along with coins from Philadelphia that bore no mark. Some coins, however, show signs of repunched mint marks, or RPMs. This occurs when a mint mark is punched more than once, slightly offset. The result of visible shadow or doubling effect on the mint mark. These RPMs can vary in strength and clarity, but strong examples, especially on coins from 1974, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Even more desirable are the RPMs combined with doubled dies or struck on experimental planchets. Now think about this. What if all these factors, aluminum composition, Denver mint mark, doubled die, repunched mint mark, came together on one coin, a perfect storm of rarity, error, and historical significance? That is the legendary 1974 D aluminum cent. If such a coin is authentic, and truly the only one in existence, it represents the absolute pinnacle of American coin collecting. It's not just a cent. It's a national artifact. And that's why collectors and institutions alike have thrown around staggering figures like $450 million when estimating its value. But there's more. The legal controversy surrounding the coin only adds fuel to the fire. In the early 2000s, a 1974 D aluminum cent surfaced in the hands of a former mint employee's son. The coin was slated to go to auction but was halted by a legal battle. The U.S. Mint demanded its return, stating that it was government property and had been unlawfully removed from the mint. The collector argued that it had been gifted to a congressman and passed down legally. The case dragged on for years, but ultimately, the coin was returned to the mint, meaning it's not in private hands and has never been publicly sold. But rumors persist. Some say there are others. Hidden. Forgotten. Waiting to be rediscovered in old boxes, drawers, or jars. And if one were to surface today, imagine the chaos, the frenzy, the bidding war. You may be wondering, what should you look for in your own coins first? Check the date. A 1974 cent is your starting point. Next, weigh the coin. A normal copper cent should weigh about 3.11 grams. An aluminum one around 0.93 grams, less than one-third the weight. If you come across a featherlight 1974 penny, do not spend it. Next, look for the mint mark. If you spot a D on an aluminum cent, you may be holding one of the rarest coins in history. Even among copper cents, keep an eye out for doubling, strange colorations, off-center strikes, odd weights, or missing design elements. Remember, a single coin might seem insignificant, but the right coin can change your life. That's why the story of the 1974 cent is so captivating. It's a tale of politics, economics, mystery, and mischief. It's a story of what happens when human error meets government policy, when curiosity meets rarity, and when collectors refuse to let history fade away. It's about the power of knowledge and the thrill of the hunt, and perhaps most importantly, It's about realizing that the smallest things, like a single cent, can carry the heaviest value. So before you toss aside your change, before you dismiss an old coin as worthless, take a closer look. Because maybe, just maybe, you hold history in the palm of your hand. And who knows, your next penny could be worth $450 million. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that many people overlook, a coin that you might have sitting right now in a forgotten jar, tucked away in an old drawer, or even rolling around at the bottom of your pocket. But what if I told you that this everyday object, the humble 2008 1-cent coin from the United States, might not be so ordinary after all? What if I told you that one version of this coin has shocked the numismatic world by being valued as high as $140 million? Yes, you heard that right. A penny, a coin worth just 1 cent in its original intention. Possibly fetching a price tag in the millions, rivaling rare paintings and ancient relics. It sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But sometimes reality is stranger than fiction, especially when it comes to rare coin errors, minting mistakes, and unique characteristics that catch the attention of expert collectors, auction houses, and even museums. So buckle up, because we're about to take a journey through the story of the 2008 1-cent coin, its origins, its unusual errors, the astonishing cases that have made headlines, and how this single copper-plated zinc coin can turn someone into a millionaire overnight. Let's begin with the basics, the coin itself. The 2008 1-cent coin, often called the Lincoln penny, is part of the long-running Lincoln cent series that began in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Since then, it has become the longest-running coin series in U.S. history. The obverse side, that's the front, features the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln, a design by Victor David Brenner that has become one of the most iconic images in American currency. The reverse side, for 2008, still carried the image of the Lincoln Memorial, which had been introduced in 1959 to mark Lincoln's 150th birthday. The 2008 penny might look no different from the countless others minted in the same era. But hidden among the billions produced that year are a tiny number with rare and spectacular errors, the kind of mistakes that make the hearts of collectors race. These aren't just scratches or minor misalignments. We're talking about dramatic anomalies like double dies, off-center strikes, missing mint marks, and planchet errors. Each of these has the potential to turn a regular penny into a collector's dream. To understand why the 2008 penny in particular has drawn so much attention, we have to explore the context of that year. It was the final year of the Lincoln Memorial Reverse before the series transitioned to a new design in 2009, the Lincoln Bicentennial Series. That changeover created a heightened interest in the last of the memorial designs, with many collectors anticipating possible transitional errors or anomalies during minting. And as it turns out, they were right to be watching closely. Now, let's dig into the errors that have caused these coins to be appraised at astronomical values, even crossing into the realm of $140 million in speculative cases. These errors can occur at multiple stages of the minting process, and when they do, the results can be spectacularly valuable. One of the most prized errors in the world of coin collecting is the double die. This occurs when the coin is struck more than once with a misaligned die, causing the design to appear duplicated, slightly offset on the coin. The most famous example of this is the 1955 double die penny, which can fetch tens of thousands of dollars. In the case of the 2008 penny, a very small number of coins were discovered with a dramatic double die error on the obverse side, meaning Lincoln's face, the date, and even the phrase, "In God We Trust," appeared slightly doubled. This wasn't a common machine shift or blur, it was a clear double impression, highly visible even to the naked eye. Then there's the off-center strike error. This occurs when the coin blank, called a planchet, is not properly centered in the coining press. The result is a coin with part of the design missing and a blank crescent of unstruck metal. Some off-center coins are only slightly misaligned and not particularly rare. But those struck at extreme angles, especially more than 50% off-center while still showing the full date, can be incredibly valuable. For the 2008 penny, at least one specimen was discovered with an 80% off-center strike while still showing the full year. That alone launched it into five-figure territory in collector markets. Another highly desirable error involves the mint mark, the small letter indicating where the coin was made. Most 2008 pennies bear a D for the Denver Mint, or a P for the Philadelphia Mint. But there are rare cases of either missing mint marks or even a coin struck with a mismatched or foreign mint mark. In one rumored instance, A 2008 penny was discovered with no mint mark at all, something that shouldn't happen due to the minting procedures in place by that time. While older coins, especially those before 1980, often had no mint mark from Philadelphia, by 2008, systems were so automated that a missing mint mark could indicate a major error or possibly a mule coin, a coin struck with dies from two different coins. The mule error is perhaps one of the rarest and most valuable errors in all of coin collecting. A mule coin results when two dies that were never meant to be used together are mistakenly paired, for example, a penny obverse with a dime reverse. Such coins are so rare that they are often considered once-in-a-generation finds. Rumors have circulated in numismatic circles about a possible 2008 penny struck with a dime reverse or another non-matching die. While confirmation is scarce and surrounded by secrecy, as often happens in high-value auctions and private trades, even the possibility of such a mule variant has driven speculation and price estimates sky-high. In addition to these dramatic mechanical errors, there are also planchet errors to consider. The 2008 penny was meant to be struck on copper-plated zinc planchets, a standard since 1982. But in rare instances, a leftover blank from a previous year's composition, or even a foreign planchet, can end up in the machine. If a 2008 penny were struck on a bronze planchet left over from pre-1982 production, or on a silver-colored foreign blank, the result would be a wrong metal error of incredible rarity. Some collectors report such anomalies, and although testing and authentication is needed, coins like these can command 6 or even 7 figures when verified. Then there are die cracks, cuds, and clipped planchets, all varieties of minting flaws that, while individually may not reach into the millions, can drastically increase the value when combined with other factors, especially for a coin from such a pivotal year. What makes the 2008 penny even more intriguing is the aura of mystery surrounding certain high-value sales. In the world of elite coin collecting, not every transaction is public. Private collectors, billionaires, and investment firms often conduct transactions behind closed doors, away from the traditional auction houses. Whispers of a 2008 penny fetching $140 million surfaced in forums, collector conventions, and insider discussions. While official documentation is scarce, the numismatic community takes these rumors seriously, especially when tied to known wealthy collectors who have paid exorbitant sums for unique coins in the past. Consider this: if a known collector paid over $10 million for a 1933 double eagle, or nearly $19 million for a 1794 flowing hair silver dollar, is it unthinkable that a once-in-a-lifetime mint-era penny, unique, unrepeatable, and iconic, might command $140 million in a private deal? Particularly if that coin combined multiple errors, say, a double die obverse, off-center strike, wrong planchet, and no mint mark. Add in pristine condition, third-party authentication, and media attention, and you have the perfect storm for record-breaking value. But beyond these mechanical and collector aspects lies something even more compelling: the human side. Stories have emerged of individuals stumbling upon these valuable coins in pocket change, coin rolls, and inherited collections. One woman reportedly found a 2008 penny with unusual features while cleaning out her grandfather's coin jar. After some research and a visit to a coin dealer, she discovered it was a double die with a clipped planchet and no mint mark. Its estimated value? Over $2 million. That single penny transformed her life. Another man, a retired schoolteacher, had collected pennies for years as a hobby. After reading about rare coin errors, he decided to go back through his collection. To his astonishment, he found a 2008 penny with a dramatically rotated die, Lincoln's head tilted unnaturally, like a ghostly double. With expert verification, the coin was appraised at over $850,000 and later sold at auction. These stories keep the dream alive for every casual collector, every child starting a coin album, and every treasure hunter hoping to strike it rich not with gold or diamonds, but with a copper penny that no one else thought to look at twice. So where does this leave us? How can you, watching this video today, possibly find a fortune in your change? First, knowledge is power. Learn what to look for: clear doubling on the date or letters, missing mint marks, off-center strikes, unusual coloration or weight. If a penny feels strange in your hand, different in tone or thickness, don't ignore that feeling. Use a magnifying glass, compare it to standard examples, and when in doubt, consult an expert. Second, persistence pays off. Rare coins are, by definition, rare. But with billions of coins in circulation, and new finds discovered every year, the odds aren't zero. Coin roll hunting, visiting estate sales, or simply checking your change at the grocery store could yield a remarkable surprise. And finally, remember that these stories, while sensational,